Everybody quiet. It's my turn to talk. All you ugly people.
All the ugly people be quiet.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Free Pizza Vodka Podcast. Bon Joseph here from Los Angeles, California. Joining me is Jonas Garvin and Susie Sitcom with the supreme shit on her face. What's up, guys in California? How's life?
This is what it is. Corona Podcast, Power 92 Radio, home of the Zoo.
Come on, man. Why you always got to talk shit about the soundboard? This is professional fucking shit here. I'm trying to up the game here, and you got to take the piss every fucking week while I'm trying to help this shit out.
Yeah, with your sound bites and everything. We're going to do crank calls here right after this.
Whatever, man. I can already tell that you do not watch any podcasts, so you don't know what's going on out there in the real world. But that's all right.
Aren't you supposed to listen to podcasts and not watch podcasts?
I don't know what kind of shows you guys be watching. Have you not heard of Joe Rogan, the most popular podcast on planet fucking Earth?
I'm a girl.
Have you not heard of Your Mom's House, the 15th most popular podcast on Earth?
Wait, is that Martin Lawrence, where he dresses up as a woman? Your
No.
Mom's cast?
Oh my God. You guys not heard of Tom Segura before? Come on, you guys. You're killing me right
I saw Joe Rogan, and he's amazing, but at the Comedy Store. But he was really high, you know? He was very high at the show, so it was kind of hard to watch. It was a little bit sloppy.
That's his bag. So, we were talking. I did a podcast with a couple of young ladies last night in Las Vegas, and they were talking about what it's like to do comedy now, because one of them's a comedian and she's like, I don't do any shows now, obviously, and I'm not. She's just writing and stuff. And we were talking about online videos and doing these home production type things as comedians. Jonas, what's it been like? Because I know you're probably in like uncharted territory for you, and I know that you're like the anti-social media guy, or at least that had been your bag for a while. So are you finding it that you're able to adjust, or what's going on with that?
Well, I think there is some pluses. I can do stand-up comedy without wearing pants. That's kind of cool. And I leave the house, and you know, but it's really tough. I'm doing videos, but they're not stand-up comedy per se. I just kind of do these whiskey rants that usually I would type out and put them online, but now I'm voicing them and making videos. But I did do a show with Susie last week. Her and another girl organized like this online
Living room concert. The living room concert. You were fantastic.
And you know, like I said before, it makes stand-up even harder, because you know the musician portion of the show, great, he gets on, he plays a song. The artist portion of the show, great, they show us the art. But the stand-up, now you don't have that feedback from a crowd. That's really, really strange. So, you know, it's hard. Now you hear a song, what I'm used to at the comedy clubs anyway. So, you know, it's kind of cool, because people seem to be really, really responding to it. Really, it's, you know, it's the attention span. But it's funny, because anything longer than a minute and a half, people are just like, let me go see what else is going on, even though they have nothing else to do. It's like the attention span of everyone in this country right now, or everywhere around the world, but that's what the fucking phones have done to us, you know? I mean, I guarantee we've lost 25 subscribers in the past 4 seconds, because we're already a minute and a half.
Can we do a plug for the show? So it's the living room, the live living room concert. It's on YouTube right now. It's at Lago Minds, Lago Like Minds, at LAGOMINDS, at Lago Like Minds. And you can actually see Jonas' side at the end. I ended up posting it, but I kept my mic on just to laugh with you a little bit, to give you some feedback. But your set was solid. It was really good, Jonas. And
thank you. It
was funny. It was great. It was a great show. And, you know, we got to do stuff with musicians and stuff, too. So I thought it was cool, because it was different, you know? And kids.
Well, it's funny you mentioned musicians, because with this time at the house, I'm actually thinking of teaching myself to play an instrument.
Fuck yeah!
It was Sunday night and I was air drumming like I like to do. We can go back to Vaughn knows my aspirations to be a pretend drummer.
Cool.
But
I'm a pretend rock star.
All drunk. I'm like, I'm gonna buy a electric piano and I'm gonna teach myself how to play the piano. And then I woke up and I was sober. I'm like, what a fucking dumb idea. I'm not gonna teach myself to play the piano.
You got the hair already, dude. Be a drummer. You got the hair.
I write.
I think now's a great time for everyone to be exploring things that they've wanted to do in the past or they've not had the time to do. I remember when I lived in LA and I was on like disability or something like that, and I couldn't work because my back, and I didn't do anything with the time. And then like, I'm thinking I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And before you know it, like 4 months or 3 months went by like that. And I'm like, I should have been working on a screenplay. I should have been doing all kinds of stuff. And I didn't do any of it. So that's good on you, man, for thinking about doing an instrument. If you were seriously considering it, do it, man.
So,
anything for your neighbors.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like I wanted to get a drum set, and
nice.
That's already been kind. She's not having that, but
get an
I've always wanted to be
kit.
She got me one of those. It's just not the same. I want like the full-on huge kit in the cage, breaks me up in the air and spins around here in the apartment. I think it'd be great. Wrigley likes the idea, but I'm not so much. Speaking right on point, can you hear the clickety clack? The dog.
Oh. No.
No, I can't. That's so cute. Does he know? Like, does he go at the same time every day?
She gets like 4 times. We take her down. And here's what I wanted to good. Apparently, people in LA think that if they're wearing a mask, it's okay to get up in your shit. Like people don't understand the 6 feet thing. Have you noticed it here, Susie? People not understand.
Yeah, you know what? Have you?
Now.
We gotta watch the crosstalk, guys, because you cut out when somebody's talking and you overlap. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, watch now that there's more people walking in the neighborhoods than there used to be. I understand people got to get out and get their exercise, but it's like if I see someone walking towards me, I'm gonna distance myself a little bit. But people are adhering to it that I can see for the most part.
You know what? I agree. So I don't know if you've seen any of my Instagram posts, but I brought out my Kelly sticks, the Screamo sticks, like stick fighting, because people have gotten too close to me. And because I have kids, I don't know what people are thinking with their dogs. They think the dogs are the same as kids, but they're bringing their dogs up to my kids. And I'm just like, dude, don't get so close. So now I just avoid the conversation and I just swing my sticks around when people come around and they stay away from us. Yep. Otherwise, we'll get hit in the face.
No, and I've got a video coming soon about the social distancing, and it's funny because all these people that are out jogging and walking on Sunset Boulevard now in Hollywood are the same assholes that wouldn't walk anywhere before, but now they have to. They're the same people that would drive their car 3 blocks to get a fucking sandwich, but now they can't do anything. They can't go to the gym. They can't go hike running. We can't go to the beach. So let's go walk up and down Sunset and act like we own the fucking street. And it's. I walk the dog down Sunset. Generally, that's our route. Sometimes we take other routes, but you got to get out. You got to walk your dog. You got to go pick up groceries. I get it and everything. But people are just. I'm like, dude, if you see me coming towards you, I try to go, the other way or walk around. Where people are just like oblivious to this thing. And the homeless people, they're completely fucking. They don't know what the fuck's going on, and so they're fucking, and the other day, here's another thing I want to bring up too. This is why the disease is spreading or whatever. Okay, the other day I'm on the corner of Fairfax and Sunset, and I'm standing there with the dog waiting to cross the street. This jackass in a BMW, which I know is redundant. Sorry, Vaughn. He pulls up. He's got the classic LA starter kit, the glasses, the fucking headshot, the BMW, all that shit. So he pulls up to the red light, right? And I swear to God, this is what he does. His fucking hand and swings it out the fucking window onto the street.
Nice.
What the fuck?
That's just LA, bro. I don't think it has anything to do with
everybody thinks that
some LA
Was that directed towards you?
It was like, dude, put it in a Kleenex or whatever. But it was just
I saw where a guy from Amazon was spitting in his hand and wiping it on packages that he was delivering.
Dude, people are fucking insane.
That's nasty.
Yes, indeed.
And speaking of the disease, the virus, if you will, I know somebody who has it. He's at home. He sounds like he has emphysema. He's getting better.
You do?
Yeah, and it was somebody who was working at the new Rams Stadium, and they still have not shut that project. They have not shut down any construction projects in Los Angeles or Southern California.
Right.
Which, to me, somebody who comes from that background, where these general contractors want to tell you all we care about is your safety. Oh, but now it's a money issue. Well, we really don't. So I'm just confused as how, I can't go into a bar and get a drink, which is understandable, but you can put 3,400 guys on a project and have them tripping, and you cannot physically do construction work 6 feet away from other people. It is impossible. And from what now is what they're doing is they're trying to implement this 6-foot social distancing bullshit, and don't do it, they send you home without pay for 3 days. So what the fuck? Like, it's a safety violation.
I can attest to the fact that shit's not stopping here either. I've not been into central London, which is just the mecca of new builds, but out here, like where I live, my neighbors have some pretty beefy houses, and their refurbishments and their construction work on their homes is not stopping. I see trucks driving past up my street every day. So it is what it is, but it's tough, man. I mean, it's a tough call. There's people like you it's funny. It's not funny, but it's ironic, I guess, because you kept saying that you don't know anybody that's got it. You don't know anyone that's got it, and now you do. And that was the case for me as well. I knew of people that maybe worked with somebody, etc. But now I know personally, probably like at least I know 2 people that have had it here that I know personally that I'm kind of close with.
Oh no.
So a total of 4 people, 3 right here, 1 back home that's had it. And the one guy here, he had cancer and he's in intensive care right now. So he's on freaking life support.
Oh, no.
Older guy, he's in his 70s. He's actually an American guy. He runs one of my voice agencies. So shout out to Jay. Hopefully, he pulls through. But it's tough, man. And it's like you said, you can't really exercise social distancing with certain things. It's to the point now here where you can't go into certain supermarkets as a couple. So you go to the store and you leave your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband at home, And
speaking of the supermarkets, the people, what's funny here in Hollywood is everybody's bitching about and I told you this last week in the last episode, I like the way they're doing things now. I think we need to keep the line up and only a certain amount of people in the stores at any given time, even after this whole thing fucking blows over, because it's a more enjoyable shopping experience when I'm not playing bumper carts with a bunch of fucking jagoffs.
And you live in Los Angeles. You need to move if that's what you want.
But anyway, everybody here's bitching about standing in line, but has no problem standing in line for 2 hours to get in the fucking Viper Room on Friday night. So I make up your fucking mind. It's
not stressed out right now. It's different, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's like what can you do? Just it's
I don't understand.
4 days.
Why aren't they just delivering groceries to everybody? Why aren't they just delivering groceries?
The problem with that is, Susie Sitcom, is right now I got an order delivered to my house last night, and it took me 2.5 weeks for that order to get here. Like that was the first slot that was open. So
okay, so what about like I go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or Ralph's or whatever. I give them my list when I walk there, and then they run in, get the shit, and then I grab it to go. Like, why don't they do like a drive-through kind of thing?
We had that as well. It's called Click and Collect.
Okay.
So there's no Click and Collect available within 20 miles of my house. I found one opening, and it's like on the 17th of April, and it's at like Tesco is a supermarket chain here. It's like Ralph's, but it's at one of their express stores. We have smaller stores, kind of like almost 7-Eleven-ish size that are
It was
super.
bizarre when I was over there, and I'm like, what? This is a grocery store? This is like 4 aisles.
Yeah, that's like the quick supermarket. That's what we actually went into. So there's that, and that's the only place that I could get a slot. So I just booked it for, 2+ weeks out just in case.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks, I think.
That's the soonest one I could get. And we've got multiple companies that deliver, and they're so booked out that they're like, we can't take any new people. So if you don't have an account, you're not getting through. And even ones where I do have an account, because I have a friend and she has 2 accounts, so I use her secondary one. So they have nothing open until end of April. So if you
now too is they're allowing restaurants, in addition to their takeout, they're allowing restaurants to kind of be a grocery store. They're rewriting the rules as we speak. I saw on the news yesterday that they're going to allow restaurants to start selling, mayonnaise and pasta.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I noticed the pizza place is allowed to sell beer and wine now, like on delivery. They'll deliver beer and wine.
Better than that. A lot of places are even selling mixed drinks. It's so fucking rad. Like you can go, you order some nachos to go. Hey, can I get a Walkerita? That's what I call the margarita. They put in the foam cup that I can walk around town with. So yeah, the dog with a foam cup. It ain't a soda.
Nice Walkerita. I want one.
Yeah, but you have to order food. That's their only catch. You have to order food.
Where is that?
Everywhere. You go anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, you could go. The El Compadre was doing it on Sunset. You go in and get your quesadilla and your Walkerita.
Fantastic! Yeah. I want one so bad. I want a margarita.
This whole thing, I'm just like, hey, I can get to go booze and chill at the house and catch up. I'm watching westerns from the 50s. It's pretty rad. Yeah.
The thing is that you can't, and you guys don't understand this, and I don't mean to sound rude. You can't fucking do that right now because you're exposing yourself to potential harm by being outside running around like that. So that's the issue, and this is why you're going to see an astronomical spike in cases and deaths in the United States because of the inability to stay home. And I know it's really, really hard in cities, especially like Miami.
Sorry.
It's all right. It happens. It's LA. And in cities like LA and New York, where you've got millions of people in a small area, you can't help but come into contact with it. So whereas, and we were talking about this the other day, and my friend's like, yeah, well, I just, I was in the supermarket and I social distance, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, if someone that was in that aisle getting milk coughed and they had it, whether they coughed on the milk or not, that shit lingers in the air for like 20 minutes. So if that person coughed and left, you have no clue, and you just walked right into that aisle, and that shit's right on you now. So if you're not wearing a mask, you're putting yourself in potential danger just being out on the streets. So it's just very important that you limit the amount of time that you're out. I know you have to go get shit, but like running to the restaurant every day to go get shit, that's problematic in my eyes. Because I'm seeing
no Rockeritas. You're telling me no Rockeritas.
I'm saying I would advise against it because we're in the hot zone right now. They said that we are due to see. We had like 500 people die yesterday. Okay.
Oh my God.
So
LA too.
So you guys are about 2 weeks out from the first actual hit. And they said we're about 7 to 9 days before it's really going to peak here. So in the next like 2 weeks, like mid-April, is when you guys are going to start to see a huge spike in cases over there. And because people are doing what they're doing now, out fucking around, and people are asymptomatic and don't know they've got it, and they're spreading that shit. And people that can't handle it are going to start to become symptomatic, and then that's when it's just going to be like one of those fucked up movies that we watch, and everybody's going to be sick. So just be careful, please, because I like it.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm going in there and I lick the fucking counter when I pick up my fucking.
That's my point. You don't have to, though. You're just being out.
I need to eat, and
just don't eat so much.
if we go out twice a week to go grab takeout food and bring it home and microwave it and trash the containers and wash your hands like they're telling you to do, then fucking I'm gonna keep doing it because fucking I like to see a couple of these mom and pop shops because I don't want to see them go fucking tits up.
I would rather be alive and have my local mom and pop store be out of business than be fucking dead because I was trying to support somebody's fucking business. I appreciate.
I think Von is saying he loves
the only
you,
thing
Jonah.
that's Applebee's, and fucking you be living the dream at America's neighborhood favorite bar and grill. Fucking, I'll be 6 feet under with some really, really good pizza.
Thank you.
I want pizza. Sun Luminati's.
I want pizza. Oh God, that's shit we were talking about before.
You know what? I've got to go to the grocery store so bad because my kids are out of food. We are out of food, and I just don't want to go. I'm so afraid. I just don't want to go. I don't want to go right now. I feel like there's just people are just being idiots. Like you said, like I went out for a walk, and they're like walking towards me. I'm like, what are you walking towards me for? What's the point? You know, walk across the street. I feel like people are just like they can't help themselves. So there's nobody on the street. I'm walking with my kids, and they're like just gravitating toward us like zombies. I'm like, oh my God, get away. So I just don't want to even take them out anymore. Although they say that there are no kids that have gotten the coronavirus.
What?
So
There's kids that have died from it. That's bullshit. Wherever you heard that from is nonsense. I don't know what the news you're getting.
Where for kids? No, like 25. They said is the youngest person here.
I'll send
you. No, Lancaster. It was Lancaster, 17-year-old kid died from it.
17-year-olds. Okay, but not like kids. Like I told my kids they're gonna have to take over the world. I'm gonna have to teach them to drive and shit.
I'd rather them not be driving. You guys are Asian.
World domination.
We had a 13-year-old over here that had coronavirus. So
oh really?
Saying that
okay, so that's the longest I've heard.
Is bullshit, and this person she died from it. So
really?
Yeah. You know,
and so I haven't heard any kids cases. Originally, it was no dogs, no kids.
No dogs can get the corona.
Yeah, that's why the mayor shut down the farmers market. I don't know if you saw the pictures of the morons.
What the fuck were people doing at the farmers market?
Cool.
I thought it was a joke. I honestly thought somebody was fucking delivering stand-up when they told me that. I had no idea. And then she sent me a picture. I was like, they deserve to get it. They fucking deserve to get it.
Well, one thing I didn't know is that the you know, another shout out to the small businesses. The farmers market on Fairfax, CBS Studios, that marketplace is still open because they're all considered like little grocery stores. So they're still open, kind of like, you know, like a 7-Eleven or whatever. And a lot of them, like the butcher shop in there is starting to sell like eggs and milk as well because a lot of the stores don't have them. So they're still open. But the big outdoor produce markets are not anymore. So
they're not covered. I don't understand. The farmers markets are not covered and stuff. I don't.
I think we might have lost some. Up. You guys are back. Okay, you guys froze up for
here. So if I know that like I spent like the entire last 2 days trying to look for topics to talk about because I know we're all corona'd out, but like you can't find anything that's not corona related right now.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff I got for you guys here. So well, nope, that's corona.
Wait, can I tell you a joke real quick?
If this shit's not slapping, you're out of here. Go.
Yeah.
Hey, so my kids were acting up the other day. Wait. So my kids were totally acting up the other day. So I told them they were grounded. I know.
Wait.
Yes, right?
I don't even know if that's the right drop or not. I can't hear it.
That was an uncle joke for Jonas.
Wait. There we go. Sorry.
That was an uncle joke for Jonas. Wait, and then they even gave me lip. So then I said, "That's it. You can't go to school for the rest of the year."
You'll go far as a waitress, darling.
So schools have been closed. Schools are officially closed for the rest of the school year.
Yeah, our
schools in my for that one.
Yeah, schools over here have been closed for a couple of weeks now.
No, our schools were closed for a couple of weeks, but they said we'd go back in May, and now they just said the governor said no, nothing for the rest of the year.
Shit's been closed. I don't know if you guys know who rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine is. He's a rather famous rapper, young kid who was known for snitching on everybody in his And he actually just got let out of prison today, 4 months early, because of his fears of the coronavirus, and the prosecution had no problems with it. I just think it's funny because he actually went to prison because he was worried that the blood gang that he was snitching on was going to be after him on the streets. So he feels safer now out on the streets than he does in the prison because of the coronavirus.
Well, speaking of the coronavirus, LA County, or California prisons, they're going to release 3,500 people early because of this virus. I think there are people that only have like a few months left anyway, or whatever. I didn't see the entire story. But to me, it kind of goes against the stay at home, let's put more people in the streets type of. But if it gets into the prisons, which I think it already has, that's a method or a recipe for disaster.
Well, it'll reduce the population of the prison. They'll have more
yeah, there you go.
complaining about crowding.
I got a email and a call today for a job offer because I'm looking for work right now. And they said it's an urgent opening. They're like, Susie, we need your help. We were wondering if you would mind going out and gather up the homeless people and test them for coronavirus. It pays $20 an hour. I was like, really? This is, I mean, I signed up with them a year and a half ago, this placement agency, and I go, this is the first fucking job they've offered me.
Where are you getting corona tests?
Rod in a hazmat suit. I'm all for it.
Oh, Jesus. I was just like, I have kids. What? Are you kidding me? I was like, $20 an hour. Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, $20 a test, maybe, but an hour, never.
No, it wasn't I mean, come on. It was ridiculous. Hey, risk your life. I was just like, this is a joke, right? Who's doing this to me?
That's wild. I'm looking at the map. This is like the last thing I want to talk about corona because I'm over it. But I'm looking at the map and of the cases that we're dealing with. And New York, as you know, is just reeling right now. They're getting slammed right now. And you guys haven't really gotten that dark red circle over LA yet, but it's heading that way, like, because the East Coast is just getting pummeled right now. So just be extraordinarily careful. And I mean, because you're at a point now where it's only going to get worse. You guys have double the cases that Italy had, but, you know, bear in mind, you've got way more people there. And it's just wild. There's really nothing you can do about it. I was reading an article about this Chinese doctor who knew about it, and she knew about it and brought it to people's attention, and the higher ups told her to stifle that shit. They were like, don't talk about it. And she knew, and she gets this report, and it's called, you know, they're like, this is the new SARS outbreak, and she's freaking out. And the whistleblower that brought it to her attention got fired. And now the woman that brought it to the attention of the public that was speaking on it, and the government told her to shut the fuck up, is now missing. So,
well, what about the
guy
that got fired from Amazon for organizing a walkout because he was asking for safer conditions? Amazon is already like a gazillion-dollar company, and now they're even making more money because everybody's ordering from home. And they're still, by all accounts, not taking care of their employees like they should be. I know that here in LA, Ralph's and Kroger and Food for Less and all that stuff, they've already paid their employees another couple bucks an hour, which to me is kind of a drop in the bucket because grocery sales are spiking. But at least they're doing something for their employees that are coming into work. And, you know, to me, these grocery store employees are the same thing as a healthcare professional right now because they're kind of frontline. They got to deal with the public. But I don't really understand why, you know, somebody posted something the other day that hospitals CEOs are pissed off because people are price gouging that on these masks, anything like that. And it's like, well, that's what you've been doing on all these years. You know, your healthcare for profit bullshit. So, but yeah, dude, it's crazy that Jeff Bezos has all this fucking, and at this point is Amazon workers are not very happy, and they're bigger than they ever have been, and they're at the front lines, and I think it's kind of bullshit, dude. You know?
Well, hopefully it all ends soon, and there's nothing catastrophic about it. I did want to talk about something that's non-coronavirus, and I don't know if, and I'm assuming.
Can we talk about my dating life? My lack of dating life.
That is actually.
Guy advice.
Yeah, can you say that to Duracell for me? How's he doing?
That is one of.
Can you
That
say
is one.
How you're dating right now?
No, I wanted to ask you guys dating advice because I don't know how to date. I wanted to ask you. Is it okay, Von?
Yeah, hit it. What do you got?
Okay, I'm newly divorced and I have 2 kids.
Right.
I have a daughter that's 10. I have a daughter that's 8. So I've decided during all this time at home that I don't think it's possible for me to date because I have 2 young girls, right? Because like I have to meet someone who'd be interested in going out with me, but then at some point I'd have to introduce them to my kids. So, and they'd have to be like responsible enough. So I decided that it's just not possible. What do you think? Is it possible for a single parent to date when their kids are young?
It
Tell
is.
the truth. I want to know from a guy's point of view. Like,
I'll
would
tell
you
you.
even bother?
I'll tell you because I've had girlfriends that had young kids. Well, not multiple young kids, but I dated a woman when in LA actually, and her daughter was, I want to say 13 when I met her. It's probably going to be more difficult because you're in LA and there's this whole, I don't want to say stigma, but there's just an image about being with a woman that's got kids in LA. You know, LA is so free and wild, and we go clubbing, and you do all this LA shit, and those kids don't usually play into that. Obviously, it's a challenge, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen because anybody that's really worth the effort isn't really going to care. You know, it's in a lot of cases, the way I see it personally is that it's a built-in family already. So for someone like myself, especially as they're younger, it gives me an opportunity to become a part of something that's pre-established, and we can grow together. Like if your kids were older, and it's like your kids are older and they're doing their thing, and they're not going to like you where they are either way. There's nothing for them to attach themselves to or learn from you as they grow up. So I think you're at an advantage there. It's not like you've got babies. You don't have like a 2-year-old or something like that. Then maybe it might be a bit more of a challenge, but stick it out. And and once this ends, the dating apps are going to be going wild.
Thinking about that, like it's going to be a sexual revolution like in the 60s. People are just going to start like it's going to be, you won't even have to like get on an app. You'll just be able to walk outside and people are just going to be fucking in the streets, and it's going to be glorious. I can't wait to take the dog for a walk and just see people screwing up and down the sidewalks. It's going to be so rad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, in LA, at least in my experience, guys are going to offer you dick at least 5-6 times a day. I mean, assuming that you're out in public.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean. I can get that. I'm not worried about getting dick. I can get dick. I don't want right.
But the
I'm
thing
talking
is,
about like a meaningful relationship.
but now's the time.
I think I've given up dating.
No. Now's the perfect time for that. We literally just talked about this on the last podcast I did, because you're at home. Well, you're supposed to be at home. You guys in LA are wild and out in the streets eating walkaritas.
I'm not in the streets. I'm at home.
So you're at home now, and you've got all this time, and you can't meet that person like face to face, or you shouldn't be. So now's your chance to get to know them, and you get to chat with them on the phone or maybe FaceTime, and you can text and text.
They smell bad.
What's that?
I said then you them in a month and they just smell awful.
Well, that's just the chance you have to take. You have to think about it like this. Imagine that you and I are dating, right? That's how it.
You and Jonas? Or you
No,
and me?
fuck him. I don't date guys with long hair. That's
I
was like, Jonas was looking sexier than me right now, dude. I'm like, I want to know his hair routine. Like,
I'm into that. I'm into the mask thing with the red looking like menstrual lip shit thing going on. So that's what's up. But no, I mean, imagine that you're dating somebody long distance. Like before I met my now ex-wife that brought me over here to England, I was in LA, and we would just be using FaceTime and texting and shit like that. So you get to know that. You get to spend all that time, and then when you actually are together, it's you would appreciate it more. And they know you got kids.
About everything.
What's that?
I think I have terrible taste in men too.
Oh, so
it's
your fault then.
That might be a problem too.
Your fault. You need to change your priorities, girl. Your way ain't working.
I mean, I don't know. I think that it's weird. I've kind of been thinking about, like, it would be kind of nice to date someone if it's the end of the world, but at the same time, I'm so grateful I'm not with my ex or with anyone right now, because I would literally, like, run in the streets and beg people to fucking cough on me if my ex was here.
Maybe you should get someone to go cough on your ex and just make life a little easier for.
No doubt. Like, why not take him out? I'm
Yeah,
lucky.
I mean, my ex was really abusive and mean, so he would be here right now, like, screaming at me and, like, throwing shit at me and stuff. I'm really here.
A lot of people,
and I think a lot of people are going through that right now. Like, people who are in abusive relationships, if they're spouses and you guys are at each other's throats, like, I mean, it'd be an abusive situation here. He was mean to my kids. He was mean to me, and it's our kids. He just, when things would, like, shit would hit the fan, he couldn't deal with stress, and he'd just take it out on us, because, you know, and especially the kids, because he thought that they were weaker. And then our fights would be me saying, get the fuck away from my kids, get the fuck away from our kids, 50 pounds, and you're, like, yelling at babies. I'm like, are you crazy? So I really, really feel bad. There's a lot of kids right now, and there's a lot of spouses right now that are dealing with abuse at home, and kids that are dealing with child abuse. It's scary, and it's really sad. But what?
They can't go anywhere. You know?
Yeah,
so
they can't go anywhere. They're stuck, and it's really sad and scary.
Me and my chick get along good. And
you get along really well.
Yeah, and actually, you know what's funny is, like, now that I have an excuse to hoard alcohol, like like, when we go to the store, it used to be like this big thing of friction, like, why do you need 6 gallons of Jack Daniels? But now she's like, well, you better get it, you know. I'm like, this is so rad, dude. I'm like, so now we get along better than ever. And, you know, she already works from home, but we have a big place, which helps too. So,
yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I feel people that were, like, in shitty relationships before, now you're just stuck, you know, because you can't go.
And, you know, but it's so sad. It's like, what about those kids that are stuck at home right now and they can't go anywhere and they're just getting it, you know? And I just feel like it's not, I signed up for that shit. That shit happened over time, you know? It's not like I signed up to be with an abusive guy. He wasn't abusive until we had kids, because he couldn't deal with all the responsibility and the noise and the stress, you know? You have to really man up to be a father.
Which is exactly why I have no children. See, at least I'm smart enough to know that everybody's like, well, if you had your own kids, you'd be a good dad, and it changes when you have your own kids. But what if it doesn't? You know I don't want. Dude, after getting the dog a year and a half ago, I don't see how people have fucking kids. I'm like, I'll be sitting there all fucked up, and I'm like, you know what? Shit, I got to stay sober enough to take her downstairs to piss before I pass out. And, like, I know my role in life, drunk uncle. Like, I mean, I accept it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I hand out money to the nieces and nephews. I get loaded and I pass out on their toys, and they think it's funny. And, you know, I just looking. That's my role in life. But that's one issue I have, is people have kids just to fucking have them. And you know what? After talking to my aunt Lisa, she has twins, and she asked if we were ever going to have kids, me and my chick, and I'm like, no, you know. And she's like, well, I can tell you, after having them, I used to think it was really, really un-American if you didn't, like, get married and get a house and have kids. She goes, but after having them, if you don't want them 100%, don't fucking do it. There's too many fucking people out there just having kids just to fucking have them. And you know, you should maybe dry run a little bit. Maybe go borrow a child for a minute. Like,
babysit. Yeah, babysit, totally.
Every time we're toying with the idea, like, maybe let's have a child. Hey, I got an idea. Let's go scoop up the 4-year-old niece. Okay, 3 hours of that.
That's smart.
And it's like, I can't wear enough condoms. You know what I'm saying? But I just wish more people knew that you don't have.
Or think it through. Think it through, like you're thinking it through.
Yeah, you know, which, I mean, as drunk as I am all the time, like, I know better than that. I mean,
you like to be drunk all the time, so you know that's not an environment for kids.
I know that yelling at the TV on football Sunday and pounding Jack Daniels, you know, there's no way. Like, at half, like, There's no way I'm stopping to watch the game to change a fucking diaper. It ain't fucking happening, dude. Like, it's just not.
That's what you've got a partner for, so that you can have that person handle the diaper situation while you're doing this.
Then they get all.
No, you know what though? But see, I think that's a huge point to bring up right now, because I think a lot of people who are staying in, they're doing a lot of fucking right now, and there's gonna be
Christmas.
a lot of babies.
And
there's going to be, and there's a lot of people who aren't thinking things through like mine. Like, I knew I wanted to have kids. I always wanted to have kids. And I think that, my husband said he did, but I don't think he thought about the responsibility that comes with it. And it is work, and it is responsibility, and it levels up your life to another stress level. And, you have to be ready for it. And like Vaughn was saying, it's like the fact that you even think about the fact that you can't get too drunk, because you're going to have to be sober enough to walk your dog. Kind of like having kids. You kind of have to be, you got to rein everything in, because you always have to think about your kid first in every situation. They have to eat first, got to sleep first. And we're going to have all these kids that are coming out of this coronavirus.
Yeah, just what we need. More people.
I mean,
well, actually, they'll just replace the ones that are all
about it.
Ain't that some morbid shit, right? Everybody starts fucking so we can replace the coronavirus deaths. Well,
there are going to be a bunch of deaths, and there are going to be a bunch of rebirths. It's
No,
really weird.
The coronavirus again. No, you guys know.
Sorry.
All right, let's talk about one last quick thing, because Jonas has to go walk his dog.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How can you tell if a guy has a big penis?
Usually, if you can look at his fingers, if he's got fat, like chubby. What do you mean, like length or like girth?
Either. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I'm new dating.
Guys that have like chubbier hands, like bigger, fatter hands, tend to have girthier penises.
Fatter, okay.
Yeah, this is according to Dr. Drew Pinsky. This isn't any research that I've done on.
So look for fatty hands. My hand's kind of fatty, but I have a fatty penis.
I'm gonna get some mittens now.
Your fingers are skinny.
Yes, they are. I can lick my breathe through my ears.
Length is usually going to be determined by the size of the thumbs. So if you look and they've got like big, long, meaty thumbs, you're probably going to be all right. Or you could just ask, because most guys are happy to tell you. Because I'm at the age of my life where I'm like, I don't want there to be any like surprises or disappointments.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that's how I feel.
It's not. There's no time for games, especially like if I could be dead in 2 weeks. Quit playing with me. Just tell me that you got this, that, or the other. It's fine. We're adults here. Let's have the conversation.
Wait, the newest line that I've been hearing though, are guys trying to pick me up. It's really crazy because I haven't dated for 20 years. Guys will talk to me for a little bit, and in about 20 minutes in, they're telling me how amazing their penis is, and I'm just like, wait, what is it about me?
Yeah,
I'm a hooker. Because why are you telling me about your penis?
My MO back in the day was, I was always really good at picking up women, and my friends would always ask how, and I'd be like, well, for one, I'm nice to look at. 2, I'm tall. I'm a good talker, and 3, I have no fucking standards. So I found if you have 3, you don't need 1 and 2. But anyway, I was never like, hey, you want to corner and see my big, huge cock? I would just like lay it out there, but like, hey, you know what? I don't tuck my dick in my sock, but I'm a pussy eating machine. So if you want to go back to the crib, we can do that.
Susie, that's a way you can.
Wait, my kids just came out. Never mind with what we just said. He's talking about cats.
Rick's looking at me like, damn, the fuck up.
Uncle Jonas is talking about cats, girls.
Yeah.
So
they literally came out when you're like, I'm a pussy eating machine.
Just explain to them that I haven't been grocery shopping and I'm over here eating cats, which you guys are Asian, so they'll be able to relate. So it'll be cool.
I'm like blushing. I don't think I ever blush. I see a lot of stand-up too, and I don't blush. But that was ridiculous. The timing was like, oh my God, horrible.
That's going to be your one telltale sign, Susie sitcom, according to a lot of the women that I've spoken with, is if a guy talks about oral, then he generally doesn't have a large member.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if they like to do oral, they don't have a large member. So Jonas is saying he doesn't have a large organ?
Yes.
Jonas, do you not have a large organ?
No, I'm hung like a marshmallow.
Like a
But at least the marshmallows get the.
I've never heard that in my life. I'm hung like a marshmallow. So you're tall, like a tall adult, but you have like a small midget dick.
Yeah, it's way out of proportion. It's way, like if I was burnt, it looked like I had a huge.
What does hung like a marshmallow mean?
Yeah, and, you know the little ones. Like I said before.
What does hung like a marshmallow? That's so horrible. Now I just picture you on stage doing stand-up with a fucking marshmallow in between your legs.
She's got a picture in her head right now, I guarantee you. It's like me standing there with my all down naked and like ass the whole white chocolate marshmallow, like where my cock should be.
You gotta lean into that shit.
I see right now. You
Yeah, now I want marshmallows.
You're
that's so sad. You're too tall to have a marshmallow dick.
I know, right? That's what upsets me too.
Oh my god.
Have either of you seen Tiger King on Netflix?
No, I don't want to watch that white trash shit. I'm not into it. Boo Boo Honey, Honey Boo Boo, Tiger King, white trash. No.
But the fact that it's like so popular and I have the time, I might just watch it just so we have something to talk about. Have you seen it?
I've seen it, so I'm just gonna tell you guys to watch like the first 3 episodes, and if you continue, it's only 7. I found that I think I watched like 3 or 4, and after the 4th one, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. So then you can just probably skip to the 7th one because there's just a lot of. But you didn't. I enjoyed all of it. But like after like 5 and 6 and and so on, or maybe 4, 5, and 6, and I was just kind of like, all right, I understand what's happening. But there's a lot of twists and turns and mayhem. So if you haven't seen it, I think it's interesting. I think it's embarrassing to be an American over here seeing that. And
dude, I was there last fall. It was embarrassing. Like the way we're viewed around the world now. I just talked to a friend of mine in Canada, and she was, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
In this country right now, and it's like I said, dude, I find a place that's got LA weather and Mexican food as good as here, I'm going. But I'm not going to Mexico, I can tell you that.
They're not letting
Where's
you.
the good Mexican food in Hollywood? There's no good Mexican food in Hollywood. Where you are in Sunset?
No, I'm Ernie's, North Hollywood. Shout out to Ernie's.
They're not letting you into Mexico because they don't want you guys bringing the coronavirus down there, apparently. I know that women down in San Diego were driving over to Mexico to get toilet paper, apparently, and now they've decided that they were shutting the border down because they didn't want you guys coming over the border. So Trump might actually have predicted what he said was going to happen, and they build the wall, and they're going to pay for it because they're trying to keep you guys the fuck out.
Well, I thought it was because of Jonas's marshmallow dick.
That too.
Yeah. That's why I go down to Mexico, because the Mexican girls, they don't know any better, So they're just happy to be fucking a white guy, so it's cool. Maybe the next one my chick is brown. I don't know.
Awesome. So let's end this podcast on a racist joke, and don't forget
Wait. Before we do the racist joke, you didn't talk about your package.
Oh, that was the racist joke. He just made it.
If you want to close on a racist joke, she looks like a pedicure lady right now. You have a huge black cock. I'm hung like a marshmallow. We'll talk to you guys Sunday.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening and not watching, you can check us out on v3tv.uk. These
not pedicure. I look like a person that delivers babies. I look like a doctor. Jeez.
No, she doesn't. And check us out on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, wherever you get your music. And we'll catch you guys next week on the show. We're actually going to do a show on Sunday as well because we got plenty of time to crank out podcasts. Susie's sitcom screen has frozen in this funny picture, and I don't see her up there anymore. I think she's even with us.
You don't see me?
And no, I don't. So Jonas is still moving, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Bye.